greetings. Thank you for joining us. So Fritzy on the new background ornament. She's making the rounds, tearing the background apart. Yeah. So yeah. Scoping the place out. All right. Hopefully this is going to YouTube. Okay, cool. All right, we're back. We're back in the saddle. Okay, so this is a kind of keep it a little bit light. It's been kind of heavy recently. So White Cities in Astral, Ashgabat, Turkmenistan, whatever we call it, and 8th Dimension. So Turkmenistan is, if I'm ever pronouncing that right, is it's kind of like North Korea. Most likely a place that no one's ever heard of. I never heard of it either. It's in Asia. I think it's Arabic. I can't remember. It has mosques there, so it's Arabic. But and anyway, I guess it has some Soviet energies there at one time. So anyway, hopefully this thing is streaming somewhere. So far, it looks like it's not streaming anywhere. But that's all right. Weird. So anyway, all right. So yeah, just kind of keep it light. Sunday night, a little bit earlier than usual. Let's see here. I'm talking comment prep sessions, scheduler. You have a shop here. I'm on the 15th still. Same situation here. We have a shop here. Same situation. Webinar sign up, social network, and behind the scenes. Weird. I wonder if this thing is going anywhere. Or maybe the number isn't working. Because so far it looks like, geez, lovely. I guess I'll have to check everything afterwards. Is everything... I wonder if they're having a problem altogether. Anyway, very interesting. So I can check if it's alive. It might not be. Nope. It is not on there again. It's the second time. Oh, no. Nope, it is. That's good. That's good. Gee, after what happened last time, you never know anymore. Yeah, it just keeps coming in, dropping out. Jeez. Modern technology. I love it. So this is Turkmenistan, whatever. Yeah, it feels like this is like an elitist hideout, so it's hard to get in here too. You can't just go there and visit. You have to have some kind of visa of some kind of statue. Everything's white. You have to have a white car. So it's kind of like it's pretty much a dictatorship. This is the old dictator. I don't think it's alive anymore. So, yeah. Didn't know about this place at all. So, yeah, it's in the desert. I believe it is. I don't know what that is. Yeah. Anyway. Lovely. Obviously, it's Arabic because that Arabic statues. But it's in like Asia too, something like that. So it's yeah. I don't know, it's in an Arabic area, but it feels Asian also. With some aspect of it at least. So yeah, I'm not sure how far I'm gonna get into that, so I'm just kind of giving everything else a break. It's been kind of heavy, especially the Vatican stuff. I had some kind of astral dream, and I don't remember. I was having conversations with somebody. So anyway, and then of course I woke up, it all went away. So that was fun. And also the eighth dimension. It's different ways of interpreting the higher dimensions. I mean, you can just think everyone has their own point of view. It doesn't mean it has to be that much different here. Obviously, it's not going to be like this, but you'll be a little bit more, you can say, superhuman there. Because you can go through dimensions and realities, or whatever it might be. It's just more space age, you could say. Because there's, it just means it's a little bit more high tech, as some already know. But it doesn't mean you don't have a human body. It doesn't mean it's as physical as we are, but it doesn't mean you don't have some kind of physicality in some of these dimensions. Because we really don't really know. I mean, going from our point of view, it doesn't mean it's not. Doesn't mean they don't have a physicality, their version of it in the different dimensions, which I think they do. It's just not as heavy as chaos, planet chaos is. Yeah, it's just anyway. Obviously, there's others that know everything. That's good. As religion shifts its energy and goes into the spiritual community, as it's already been doing that for a while now, kind of takes it over a little bit. It's going to put restrictions on what's true, what's not true, and all of that. So it's unfortunate. The more open-minded you are, the more heretic you are. That's the other thing. Yeah, we're a bunch of heretics. I've talked about this before, but basically a lot of us have probably been burned at the stake for thinking a little bit outside of the common duality. No surprise there. So, all right, we're going to the light cities and astral. So, what I'm picking up from that is basically light energy. Just obviously what the title is. Kind of like China or Asia cities are all wood. The cities are all light up and the lights are everywhere. Similar to that, not exactly, of course. Obviously, even the structures themselves just have higher frequencies. It's kind of like a Christmas tree in some degree, a little bit more attractive than that. The eighth dimension, I'll go back to that for a second. Yeah, it's just more of kind of like a sci-fi movie where you can travel through time and all that, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have there is a form of physicality. It depends on where you are. So it just depends on what reality you want to connect to. So there are places where 8th dimension or 10th dimension, whatever, you don't have a physical body. There are some realms where there is a form of it to some degree. You can get in ships and fly everywhere and do whatever you want to do. Something like that. It just here in Planet Chaos, obviously, it's not the easiest thing to tap into. So, all right, we're going to the astral energies. So, I guess Fritzy took off. Yeah, she has her new place to hang out, so they're still getting used to that. So it's a little bit more, just give them something to do. So, all right, blessings. Here we go. Greetings to you. We are the energies from higher astral. Yes, we are a bridge from your reality to ours. Yes, of course, that our astral beings are not always aware of your existence. So some of you have portals in your homes and your houses and your places of living. The astral realms are tapping into your reality. Of course, much of the Agarthian realms open the door to all realities. So some of you do have Agarthian. Of course, there are Agarthian portals everywhere, of course. They're called the trees. Of course, the ground, the trees, but mostly the trees. So beings come and go through the trees and most humans aren't aware. Yes, of course, there are leprechauns everywhere. Leprechauns are also known to be magician beings. And they're not necessarily use the word leprechaun in Ireland. They're called leprechauns, but they have different names in different places. And some of them do have an Arcturian vibration around them. So as the light cities of Astral is also a healing factor, a healing vibration. Obviously, many that are here in the physical, or many people are going through health difficulties. But also, the Akashic records have health difficulties. Sometimes it's karma, not always. Sometimes it's even an implant from an alien group or alien civilization. And some humans actually implant themselves. You can actually put your own implants into yourself to cause an ailment for different reasons. Some get sick just to see how others react. I imagine many of you have heard that one before. So modern spirituality also feel will change over time, basically become more astral, at least astral knowing, as more people get to more psychedelics and shift their frequencies to the non-physical. Of course, the non-physical will always be seen as a myth, at least for now, because the humans are still programmed to the physical realities, as you can see. And yes, there are beings that are, for them, a physical realm is all there is. So the non-physical, so there are beings that want to keep you physical, so you cannot see the non-physical at all. So that's another agenda, as many of you already know right now. He has to do spells and everything that they can come up with. Anunnaki plays a big role in that too. So it's just alien. There are alien beings that just want to understand just let humans experience this, because some of you can't open up portals in other dimensions and allow the non-physical or this physical realm to heal. And that also brings in timelines where you'll have a timeline shift. Like all of a sudden, everything is just different. Maybe not everything, but there are certain events that just change. It's like, how did that ever happen? It's kind of like well, for example, like a presidential situation or a world event can just happen out of nowhere. It's like, wow, that just snapped in for some reason. So the light cities of the astral realms, as once again, it's a healing vibrational cities. They're not usually seen as cities themselves, but for some that are so used to the earth cities, getting into an astral city is basically you're healing your physical. So basically, you can take a place like New York City and have an astral, but it's more of a higher frequency. It's because you're so used to being physical. It's a therapy to go more non-physical, for your soul to get used to more of the non-physical realms, and that can take a while because humans do get addicted to this reality. Even if it doesn't really matter who you are, many have difficulties clearing out the physicality. And of course, that's why so many souls are scared to die, because they're not used to being a non-physical being. Now, as many of you are training yourselves, or you're remembering the astral realm, so it's crossing over is not so difficult. But many here that don't acknowledge the astral realm or any spirit realm for that matter, as you know. So they put themselves kind of in a mental prison. Yes, many in the physical are actually scared of the non-physical. They know it exists on an unconscious level, but they're not quite ready for the realm that is, right behind, the realm that's right behind you or near you or wherever you need it to be. As also the other thing about those that cross over, when your time is ready to go, there's different ways of leaving. You can go behind your energy, ahead, in front of you, left, right. Yes, the soul usually leaves, but sometimes there's a passage. Basically, it's like a door opens within you, and then you let go. It's like some turn off their liver to export, or there's other triggers that they use. Some actually need you can play a song, and that just on someone's deathbed, and you just leave just like that. So music, if you want to help someone cross over, playing music's one way to do it. But it has to be a certain type of song. It can be Sinatra, it can be anything. It's just basically because they're hearing that song also in astral too. So when they're ready to go into spirit, they just snap from one realm to another, just go from one place to the other. It makes it easier transition. We believe in the future also that becomes more clear as more humans are understanding the afterlife. Of course, when you connect to the afterlife, you feel that Egyptian manipulation. Well, because they were trapping souls in Egyptian times, they forgot a lot of their knowledge too. But they weren't doing their souls much help with the whole mummy situation. But there's a classic vibration around it. But mummification also is about another healing factor, of course, because they re-entered their body. At least that was the theory. Of course, it never really worked. But of course, then again, it does, where there are realms where the mummy does come to life. There are realities where that does happen. Yes, they're made horror movies of it. Tutankhamun's come back to life. All kinds of mummies have come back to life. But we don't see that happening in your physical realm. But there's other places where that occurred. So for the astral frequencies in your realm, it's basically how do you interpret astral? Some of you actually shut off astral, meaning if you want someone to tap into, it's always going to be easy to tap into because it's not meant to. Because for some, astral is the paradise realm, and sometimes you tell them too much about paradise, it becomes difficult to be here. So sometimes the more vague, the better. But there are areas of astral where your astral self does not know anything about your human self here. They have some idea of it. Some do, not all. Some have no idea. Like those in your physical realm that just want physicality, if they shut off astral realm, their astral self most likely is like, their astral self is like, I don't think there's a physical realm. That's just a myth. So those places do exist. Blessings. Greetings to you. We have the consciousness of Turkmenistan. Yes, we are kind of a controlling state. Yes, the time, the place you're doing life, even what you're doing in your own life, we want to know about it. Even us not knowing about it is very strange. Some of you actually come from those type of places, but those cities, those worlds have been good to you. It's just you have to do what they say. Some of them are, yes, reptilian, not all. There are different, even Arcturian beings are known to, those that feel like they're creating their own individuality, moving away from the hive mind. Problem is, some of you have a control freak side of themselves. There's just a lot of soul healing on many levels. Some of you out there might remember your dictator energies at one time. All of you have had multiple experiences, maybe not in the most highest vibrations, but many of you have been dictators in your past. Some are doing it now. They're called parents. Yes, it might be a little dictator, but still, it's still a dictatorship. And of course, you're forging your child's life into your liking. Well, think about those, what a dictatorship parent looks like. Forcing your kid to play basketball or some kind of sports or be a ballet or whatever it might be, or be like a 5-year-old model, literally forcing it. That is a dictator, dictator personality. So the reason why that's here on your planet, obviously someone to see if they can do it in the physical. They've done the non-physical before, but can't do it in the physical. And a lot of beings that do dictatorships in your reality have never really done it before, ever. And it's just, they got lucky, you can say. But also the collective here agrees to go through it for their own personal reasons. Well, some of them are connected to that hive mind. Well, such as Russia, why is there so much death in Russia in the past or in the Soviet Union? That was actually for souls to disconnect from Russia itself. It's like you don't have to be a part. So many of those Russian souls have incarnated Russia over and over and over and over again. And then when your government goes against you and starts killing everyone, it's like you don't have to be a part of this anymore. You can go off. You can be free. So that's another way of looking at it. Of course, your Germany in World War II, that was to cut a lot of people off of their timelines, not just Germany, but everywhere. Because the old world is over, the new world's coming through. It doesn't mean it has to happen again, obviously, but as this talks of a new earth, yes, it is good to be careful of those words. Because how are others defining that? Because you can say our Nazis define that themselves as a new earth. So, blessings. Greetings, Celia, the energies of the eighth dimension. We are from the astral realms, but we are from many places. Yes, there is a lot of aquatic beings, ocean beings that are in the eighth dimension, that are time travelers, that are, yes, humanoid fish. The humanoid incarnation is still very popular in this universe. So why are like you had cat people as a humanoid being, or trains as a humanoid being? Why is that exactly? What's the point? A lot of it's just assist the human, especially on your world. Your world obviously has been lost in the twilights of manipulations of many beings. Of course, many of those beings that caused or brought the creation of your planet Earth from the eighth dimension, from the ninth dimension, 10th dimension, 12th dimension, and forth. It's basically this energy. The energy of this universe is quite unique. Yes, it came from. There's different iterations of where your universe came from. You can say it came from a symbol. A symbol, which is also a thought, is basically for. Think of it like the symbol has. Now they're going to say what a symbol looks like. Now you can interpret that any way you want. But it's like the starting point of the human journey here on your universe. It's like what we want to accomplish. And some of that is chaos, but it's also achieving beauty at the same time. It's like ugly and beauty is clashing together. You always hear about good and evil, but what about, of course, interpretations of what ugly is another thing. But of course, ugly can be interpreted in different ways of just either way. We'll just leave that for you to decide what that means. But beauty and ugly, just, chaotic energies clash here, as you know, within your own society. There's a split within it, of course, because humans are still trying to figure out themselves. Well, because there's an abyss of disconnect from what your foundings are, what your origins come from. But in this, as you basically allow more of the blockages to release, you see more of yourselves more clearly. The eighth dimension is just like your third dimension, just at a higher frequency at times. Yes, we open up portals much easier. We can also watch a being be created, without a difficulty. You can talk to your child before it's born, but also hear that energy. Also know what your child's going to look like before they enter into that world's experience. But the eighth dimension also plays a role in how your world is developed, especially how the oceans are. There are aquatic beings, such as the whale frequency. The whale is also very connected to the Native American energies, or the Indian for that matter. There's many Indians on our planet. The Indian is usually connected to the Asian energy, even if it is a Native American energy. It's still an Indian frequency, which also an Arcturian. The Arcturian is assisting you at connecting to your spiritual self, your psychic self, your just the astral self. The Arcturian, one of the assistants there. Of course, that's why you have your fish here also is to help you connect to the astral realms, because the astral realms, depends on where you are in astral, looks like a sea life. Basically, everyone just floating around. But usually, just energy is not necessarily a fish energy. You can see a fish, you can see all type of things. So that's where your physicality is having difficulties understanding your spiritual realms, of course, because when you see your spirit realms, it's basically just an aquatic reality, basically. So that's why your ocean is so important, is because it just reminds you of your spirit realms. Of course, your physical humans having difficulty absorbing that. So if they want to see everything, well, if you can look at the ocean and see how free it is, it does give you a little preview of what your spirit realms are like. Of course, spirit beings you connect to a spirit being in the higher dimensions, and you can see their entire reality, just in moments. But also you feel 20, 30, or 1,000 versions of yourself or more, simultaneously experiencing existences on all different places, especially in other universes, as you're an infinite being. So the eighth dimension, we can tap into some of that. We can't tap into everything because we're not intended to. Because we're here to understand darkness as you are, not at the same level, but we're here to forget. And every dimension has a forgetfulness and amnesia for a purpose. Well, you're here to advance yourself on an entire different level. We're here to advance actually the higher dimensional beings. Some do get complacent, bored. Even the higher realms get bored. Some beings become so bored they become a table. They get so bored with their own incarnations, become, some become feet. They actually incarnate as someone's feet. That sounds a little strange. You ever talk to your foot? Ever talk to your hand that has consciousness also? I know it sounds a little bit bizarre. How many beings incarnate? Well, I'm asking you a question, but there are a lot of beings that actually want to be like a shoe, because they kind of lost what to do with themselves. So if they connect to someone that's active, they figure that person will take them into a new experience. It's like I was that person's shoes for a couple of years, and I learned so much from them. Eventually, I got thrown away, but I learned a lot about their personality and all that. Even clothes are the same thing. Remember, it's just energy. In the eighth dimension, you can tap into those things. So those that are doing DMT and all of this other psychedelics, if you remember, if you do a psychedelic and you're someone's clothes, sometimes that's enjoyable, sometimes it's not. Especially when someone just throws you away. It's similar to like someone's toys, even like the movie toys itself. They like to be appreciated. Some toys are like that, not all. Some don't care. It's like, take me or leave me or whatever. I'm just happy to be here. But some toys want attention. Clothes can be the same way. Why is that piece of clothing keep talking to me? It's like, I always want to wear that piece of clothing. I'm not sure why. It just seems like they go well with me. So it's like a relationship. It is a relationship. Maybe not in the level that you think it is. And that's the other thing. How many of you actually have physical clothes where your clothes is your soulmate? Obviously, that might be a little bit much for some here. But you have favorite clothing is like that shirt, those pants. It's my soulmate. How many are ready for that one? So yes, another trip into the higher dimensions. The other thing also is the interstate. Your roads, your interstate likes to go fast. Interstates are known to talk to the humans. Sometimes it's like, I know you can go fast. Let's see how fast you can go. Sometimes the car does that, but a lot of times the cars are usually just there for protection normally, or some cars are there to kill you. I know that's not the best energy to put out there, but sometimes that's the case. It's like, is this car out to get me? Yeah, sometimes that's true. That doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Yeah, so when people are picking out their car or unpossess it, Because usually, yes, demons can possess automobiles. I think some of you are aware of that. Yeah, that would help your travel, your car accidents a great deal. But one thing about the interstates are known to, they like racing sometimes. They just want to see it happen. They like the high of it. They do like those on motorcycles for sure. So this is when you go into the higher frequencies, yeah, you see things much differently, of course. And your planet, yes, is seen as like a little ball, but so much is coming out of it. It's like it's almost blinding. The vibration is just too much because with the experiences here, it's like your world in the higher dimensions can be seen as a crystal that cannot be held. Like you can't grasp it. It's just too much. Its frequencies. It's similar to like Moldavite. It's not exactly, but your planet can be seen as that. It's basically if you have an Earth energy, yes, in another dimension, you have the Earth's energy with you as a crystal. It could be just a little crystal from your Earth, like dirt or some kind of. It's usually something that someone can have with them, and it can really cause some psychedelic experiences. So just give you another idea of the realms. Yeah, because you connected the consciousness of where that element from Earth came from. So in another reality, you can totally feel it can either help you, cause you difficulties, or get you to cry, or whatever it might be. That's this world. So this world understands that harnesses this vibration and be able to balance it. Obviously, it's not balanced. Is it intended to? Well, some don't want it to be that way. Yes, they want you to keep you in the physical forever. As some of you know. Yes, it's like, wow, I'm trying to awaken people or we're just going to be myself. But I feel so much backlash from other spirit guides of other people. Because even the spirit guides say, no, this person is not going to awaken. Probably ever, for that matter. And you're going to get used to it eventually. But the spirit guide realms will start to open up more too, if they have not already. Just basically the connection to the spirit, all of this spiritual work, all of this development is basically for the spirit realm to become more known to you. Not going to make it easier, might make it easier for some, but yes, you want to find how difficult the spirit realms really are. They're not perfect either, of course.